you juggled propane with your initial job in asset management, albeit that was more brief, then working towards being your medical degree and being a junior doctor. What advice would you give to people who want to be more productive in their day-to-day life?
So I have a series on this on YouTube, which kind of goes through, I'd say, the 7 pillars of productivity, and it goes through in order, and it's really talking through how I've done what you've described there, managing the medical degree and then working as a doctor while running the business and still juggling relationships and rental properties and family and all that stuff without going. I mean, I lost a bit of my sanity, but but not as much as I could have. And so I think the way that I would describe this is as number one, the first thing is you just have to be clear on what it is that you're trying to achieve. Because if what you're doing day to day, no matter how busy you are, no matter how productive or kind of how high your output is, if it's not taking you towards your 3-year vision, let's say, then you're wasting a lot of that time. So what is more important than how? The other thing to look at is, once you're clear on that, what is the return on your time? And sometimes it's easy to calculate your hourly rate if you work and bill on an hourly basis. But if you're building something, if you're building a business, or if you're working in a job that doesn't quite pay by the hour, you might have to do a bit of stress testing and figure out, what am I roughly worth per hour with my time? Set yourself a target. I know Naval Ravikant talks about setting an aspirational target of, he'd set his at $5,000 an hour, and anything that was less than that he would outsource. That's maybe a bit high level, but if you want to try it, give it a go. And anything that's less than that, or that you wouldn't do as good a job at, or that you'd be slower at, outsource it immediately. Things like cleaning, meal prep, if you don't enjoy cooking, web design, like any of that kind of stuff, that there are someone, accounting, bookkeeping, something that you can hire someone to do and they would do a better job than you. If it's not your core expertise, outsource it. So that's the second principle. And the goal there is to free up as much time as possible and as much mental bandwidth as possible for you to get the core things done and free things off your plate. Once you've done that, then I would look at making sure that your workspace and your desk setup is as clean as possible for that as well. So that's kind of eliminating any of the environmental distractions. Working with your phone next to you and with Wi-Fi on, and people's constant access to you through notifications and stuff is just a complete suicide from a productivity standpoint. So disable notifications on your phone. Like if you're listening to this podcast, like do it now. Like literally go onto your phone, go to your settings, go to notifications and disable everything apart from incoming calls maybe. If you want to, if you think that's a bit extreme, maybe keep the notifications enabled that you set yourself. So calendar or reminders and stuff. So, self-created notifications, but nothing that's inbound. Certainly disable the sound on your phone as well. We know that if you're in deep focus, even a small interruption can take about 18 minutes to get back into the flow that you were in previously. And most people get a notification way more than every 18 minutes. So we're just never getting anything done. It's frightening.
That's frightening. When I heard you say that on your series, I think is that from Cal Newport as well? The 18
Yeah.
study, I think it's one of his studies, isn't it? That horrified me, because even think about on my work laptop, the number of emails I get on Outlook when I'm trying to complete a presentation or when I'm about to make a phone call, and I see this pop up that even internal email that I don't have to action at the moment, it's going off considerably more than once every 18 minutes.
Yeah, it's horrible, and it's we've somehow tacitly allowed these devices to just bombard us constantly, and there was never a conscious decision for that to happen. It's just crept up on us, and as you said, it seems to be over the last 4 or 5 years that it's really gone full tilt, and it's impacting us all. So once you've set up your external environment to be conducive to productivity, the next thing is your internal environment.